our next speakers are Nadja Hatem and Anuta Sjunghamn, right? And they clearly share the ideology with this guy in the video, because you have some sort of dancing law firm in a completely sitting down market, right?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Wow. We would like to ask you to rise up, all of you. Come on. And then you jump twice. And sit down, please. So, would you like to start, maybe? Yeah?
Hello, my name is Anuta, and I took my law degree in Uppsala University, and also take a degree in economics. And the reason why I work at the law firm today is because law was the major thing that I wanted to do.
And so my name is Nadja Hatem, and I'm also a legal advisor and partner with Anuta in Hatem Sjunghamn Legal Bureau. I took my law degree in Uppsala University, and I also have a journalist degree, and I didn't really know what to do, but ended up as a legal advisor. So how did it start, all of it? How did we start? Well, me and Anuta, we met at our former job where wow, this is very heavy. I'm going to stand here. We met in our former job. We used to work in a women's shelter as legal advisors. It's really interesting because me and Anuta, we used to study at the same years in Uppsala University, but we never met really. We passed each other in the hallways, but never met. So we met at this women's shelter, and we started to work, and we realized that we really worked very good together. We completed each other. We worked together for approximately 2 years, and then we came to this path that we had to choose. What do you do as a legal advisor? Because in Sweden, there is basically one path there. You have to, what you get schooled at university is, you take your law degree, then you probably go to the court, do your practice or trainee, and then you go to a law firm and start working there for a couple of years. With hard working, you probably will get a partnership, if you become that far. And then you can get a lawyer. You can become a lawyer as well, or solicitor. And maybe you can start your own law firm. But do you do that in your 20s or in your 40s? And in your 20s, that's a little bit unusual, different. So we were sitting there, and we used to live in Uppsala, and we used to go back and forth to Stockholm every day. And you know how SE and the trains are? 4 hours a day, sitting on this train, going back and forth, and discussing what was our biggest dream. Well, to open a business, our own law firm. But again, do you do that when you're in your 20s or when you're in your 40s? We started in our 20s. And so we quit our jobs and started.
And what we realized afterwards was that we really didn't know how we're going to run the business. We knew we were going to work and practice law, but we didn't have so much discussion concerning how we're going to run our business. But we started thinking about, okay, what is our advantages? Well, we're young, we have a lot of energy, we're naive, which also can be an advantage. We really want to do this. And we also thought that, well, we have the courage. And one more important thing was that, well, we didn't have a lot of private costs, mean that, well, we could live poorly for a couple of years until the business really started. And of course, we also looked at our disadvantage, and there comes our age again. We're very young. We haven't been practicing law for a long time. We have no whatsoever experience when it comes to entrepreneurship. We have never run a business. No one in our family has ever run a business. Not a lot of our friends have ever run a business, so we didn't know much about that. We didn't have a lot of money. Well, we have very little money. We had no clients. We started from scratch. And also, we we had a network, but not as big as we could rely on them to provide us a lot of clients to make the business go fully.
So yes, we had to overcome our disadvantages because, as Anuta said, our age is one thing. The second thing is our knowledge in legal matters, and the entrepreneur part. We have never ever been running a business before, or anyone in our families. They are just having academic backgrounds, so as we. So how did we do then? I think the biggest fear we had was the legal part. What if one day you get in a client and you have no idea how to help that one, as the legal matter part? So what we did there is that we created a mentor pool. We actually just phoned people or lawyers in our network, called them and asked them if they could be our mentors, because we were thinking of starting our own business, and we needed someone as a safety net. If we had a problem with the legal part, we could give them a call and maybe they could help us out. And that was not a problem at all. Because when you call someone and you say like, hey, I really think you're a great lawyer, I would like you to help me if I need your help. Of course, everybody says yes, because they get very flattered. So we created this mentor pool. We took a loan, of course, and we started to work with reference marketing. Reference marketing for our business has been the greatest thing, because as you guys said in the beginning, most of the jobs that we get today is from recommendations. That's how it works. And in the law business, you have to work on relations. You have to expand your network. You have to be out there. You can never sit and think that, wow, people will call me. It doesn't really work like that. So when we had created this mentor pool, we were just like, wow, now we can go for it. But never really did we think of that we've never had run a business. How do you run a business? And so,
well, that was actually the fun part. We were so nervous concerning the law, and we got our mentor pool and said, okay, now we're ready. If any kind of question concerning law comes up, we have all the experts in our group that can help us. But we really didn't think of, okay, what happens if we need any advice concerning how to run this company?
And the fun part of this one is that we actually never called our mentors. That's not the problem. The legal aspect is not a problem, because we've been schooled in a law school. We do know law. That's the only thing we know, basically.
But it was like just mental security to know that there is a mentor pool. So the reality, we started our business, we registered a company, we rented an office, and we just started to work. At the meanwhile, we also received a lot of attention. We received a lot of attention from former colleagues, from people from a mentor pool, and also from friends and relatives saying, wow, you're so cool, you started a business. And for a lot of them, starting a business meant now you're successful. You have started a business, you sit in your own office, you have your own business card, you must be so successful, you must have a lot of clients and getting in so much money to the company. And the same was actually for the media. They wrote about us, oh, you're so brave, and it must be so cool to start this. It's a very traditional branch, and you started your own business. You must be so brave, and you must be so successful now since you have started your business. It was good. It gave us a lot of positive energy, boosted up our egos, but the reality didn't look like that. We started from scratch. Our first day, we sat in our new office, very nice, and just stared at each other. But why doesn't the phone ring? Where's our clients? We had our mentor pool. We knew how to resolve any legal cases. But we had clients. No one called.
And no emails. Nothing that day.
No one called that day. So, so even if we started our business, it didn't mean that we were successful just by registering it. And I also wanted to show you a picture of the cake we had at the opening ceremony. Me and Nadja, we thought that, okay, we're young, It's not very usual to start your own law firm or legal bureau at a young age without a lot of experience, practical experience. But we're going to follow some of the traditions concerning how the legal firms start their, and that was mainly the name. We said, okay, we take up both of our last names and put it beside legal bureau. So Hatem and Sjunghamn. At this opening ceremony, we thought this is a perfect opportunity to launch our logo and also launch our company name. But our last names isn't the most usual names. So when we send this logo to the cake company, they gave us this. And this is what we have for this open ceremony. And everyone was like, what the hell? What is that? So what I was just trying, this is just a funny story to share with you, but actually our company name is very hard to pronounce. A lot of times when we call to courts or call to companies and talk to our clients, they're like, excuse me, can you say it again? I couldn't hear you. What, Hatem, and what now? But the good thing is that when they once seen it, they will never forget it.
Yes, and this bakery probably will never forget our name, because this cake arrived 10 minutes before the party started, and we have to run with this one with the taxi driver back and forth to get it right. So they will never forget our name. So the law versus entrepreneurship, because as I told you before, that the law is not the problem really. It's for us, the biggest struggle we have today is how to become a successful entrepreneur. How do you really do? We've never went to courses or school to study this. It's not, and I don't know if, I think for us we've learned by practicing this. We've been doing our mistakes and we learn from everything we do, And how to balance law and entrepreneurship. It's just me and Anuta, and we do all this kind of things. We do administration, we do marketing, accounting. We have to have new visions, we have to work with our old visions, and we have to have a business plan. And we had a business plan. But what I would like to make sure here is that you have to have a changeable business plan, because the first business plan you start with is not really something you have to get stuck to, because the reality is many times different, really. And that's something you have to work with all the time. And for us, our business plan that we started with is totally different from the business plan we have today. And to become a successful entrepreneur, we believe that you have to be humble to the fact that you are not, you don't have the knowledge about everything. And you have to be able to be flexible. You have to be able to be open-minded and to change during time, because that's a learning process all the time. It can never be fully learned.
Yes, so that is the balance that we're struggling with, to get them both equally. And since, as we said, our first priority in the beginning was to make sure that the law was there, but we forgot the entrepreneurship, which is coming into now. Mistakes. Okay, every entrepreneur makes mistakes, and you have to make mistakes to be able to learn new things. And if you don't make any mistakes, you haven't taken any risks. But there are some mistakes that you should avoid and can avoid. Gut feeling. Follow your gut feeling. Everyone says that, but you never do that really. You have your gut feeling telling you, don't go into this corporation, don't do this with these people, don't try to, don't go into this. But then you have this voice in your head saying, okay, you have to make this business, you have to get this account, and you go in, you don't listen to your gut feeling, and you do mistakes. Patience. You should be hungry as an entrepreneur. You should want a lot of things, but you have to also have patience. For us, that is one of our largest advantages, namely that we don't have any patience. They tell us it takes approximately 3 years to build up a company. We said we want to go do it in 1 year. Sometimes it works, most of the time it doesn't. And also being patient and being able to realize that some things aren't realistic, and you shouldn't get your hopes down just because it didn't work at the same time schedule as you had planned in the beginning. And to do the right evaluation. When you're providing a service, it's a lot of times it's very hard to price your service. You don't know, should I take this amount or should I take that amount? What does the market say? And where should I Should I put myself exactly in between or a little lower, because since I'm a new lawyer? But evaluating your time, making sure that you really do what you set out for during the day, and also pricing your services is very important. And that is mistakes that we did in the beginning because we had no practice being entrepreneurs. We had no practice pricing our services. We had been students and we had been employers. So we had no idea, how do I price this?
And the gut feeling is a very interesting thing because people think that, you know, starting a business, you need to know all the answers, and that's totally not like that. You just follow your gut feeling, and you feel when it's okay and it's not. And it's really hard to actually define what gut feelings is, but still. So conclusions, what have we learned? We have been on the market for not even a year. We're very new. The conclusions that we can give you today from our business and how we've been working is that, first of all, working on references, reference marketing is very, very important. Putting an ad, yes, it might give you some jobs, but you will be forgotten after 1 day or 2. Being on the media, wow, great, but it does not give you any job, really, not for us at least. I mean, we've actually got emails after the biggest article you can get on Svenska Dagbladet, and people emailing us like, oh, but you won't be, you know, you don't want to help me because I have such a small problem. And you're like, oh yes, I need to help you. Also, because every job is an important job. That's for us. So reference marketing, very important. And do not underestimate social medias as such as blogging, Facebook, Twitters. We actually this week got a job through Facebook. I got an email from Facebook, and they were like, oh, I see that you're a legal advisor. Could you please help us? That wasn't really something that you think of. I mean, a law firm is not really on Facebook. But we believe that's the future, really. Yeah. And also, have a changeable business plan. Be flexible. And most of the time, you have to sell and network, really. We do that 50% of our daytime, and 50% client works.
And also one thing is to be important, we're going to be honest. I mean, if we're going to start our business again, now, if we would start a business now, we would probably do it very differently from when we did it 8 months ago. But also, if we would do it again for the 3rd time, we would do it differently again. So you shouldn't wait to start your business and think, okay, I haven't been fully learned yet. You will never be fully learned.
And you will never be able to have all the answers. We know that. You have to find your answers during the time going past.
Yes, and the challenges that we have today is actually, well, today we're still struggling to get a law firm and to create ourselves a name in the industry, making people think of high quality when they hear our company name. We're struggling to get a bigger client section to make more people contact us instead of contacting established law firms that have been there for past 100 years. And also trying to build up confidence, because if you want to have clients coming to you, it depends on a little bit in the industry, what kind of industry you work in. But if you're going to turn to a lawyer, you have to have confidence in your lawyer. You have to know that, okay, this is a lawyer that's really going to help me. This is a lawyer who knows what he or she is doing. And that is the kind of confidence you have to build up before you can receive any clients. And so that is actually the challenges that we have today, and we're still going to have them for a long period of time, I think.
Yeah, and just putting something into that is that for a law business, you're not selling a shoe. I mean, your clients have problems when they come to you, and they need to trust into you to be able to help them. So that's something you have to build over many years, and that's why being very new is difficult. But I think for us being on the market for 8 months, we are doing very well, actually. But we do not work 37 hours a week. We have much more, but we like it. It doesn't feel like working.
Like to work.
It doesn't feel like working, and we work a lot. We do, actually, and to be honest. But we network all the time, so a lot of the time it doesn't really feel working, but you talk about your business because you're very passionate about it, so it doesn't feel like working. No. So do we have any time for questions? Yeah?
Okay.
Any questions?
Morning, ladies. Thank you for your speech. It was wonderful. I just wondered if you could help me get an idea of who your clients are. Do you have a particular niche, or are you going for all types of business at the moment? Are you trying to solve all types of potential problems, or do you have a particular profile?
Well, that's a very good question you have over there, because that's something that we struggle with, because putting a niche, which means that we will only work with this kind of things, and that could mean that we couldn't get enough clients. So for us today, we work with general law, but I mean, if we get a client having a question regarding any area that we don't really think that we can handle, we always give them an advice to go to another law firm that we have contact with. So basically, we work with different with major law in general, but most of our clients today is family law, migration law, some companies, and also because we didn't mention that, but I speak Arabic and my colleague here speak Farsi, and that means also something that put us a little bit forward to clients speaking these languages, because most of the time we actually speak Swedish, but coming to us is a bit, it's a bit more welcoming and warmth, because we understand the cultural situation that they are into as well. So,
but I can say that our future is to have a more specific niche. But today we have to be able to take in more clients and able to, just like Nadja saying, able to be able to put the company forward. God, this light is so warm. I'm like, it's hot standing up here.
Hi. On the entrepreneurship perspective, I'm just curious to know, how do you imagine your law firm to be innovative, to be different in terms of the service industry? Because apart from knowing your name, if a client wants to come to you, from the entrepreneurship side, we would like to see, well, this company is very different, or this law firm is very innovative in their service. So how do you imagine yourself to be different or innovative?
Well, we try to provide a full service. I'm not saying that law firms generally doesn't provide that, but what we stand for is that if you contact me, for example, you will receive me. You won't receive my assistant or other legal expert. You will receive me, and I will give you a full service containing that you can call me whenever, or you have any questions, if you're worried about something in your case. And also the fact that if you speak, for example, Farsi, in many times, even if you have good knowledge in Swedish, you might prefer knowing the fact that your lawyer knows Farsi, in a case if you would prefer to speak in your mother tongue. So in that case, we try to provide what isn't out there as much. And but that is a hard question, because that is also what we are struggling with every day. Why should the clients come to us instead of going to a law firm that's been existing for 100 years and already made a name? So,
and that's also something that we have to say, is that there are plenty of great lawyers out there. So we're not the best. We don't say that, because many are good. But what we say is that if you choose me, you will get me as your lawyer. But that's also a sense that we haven't really decided how we're going to do it. But if we want to grow and become bigger and bigger and maybe employ other lawyers, then that become a problem, because if someone chooses me, maybe they won't be able to get me, but maybe another legal advisor. So that's something you have to balance, how you want to be.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please give him a warm applause.